I'm here with the beautiful and talented Drea de Matteo. How are you?
Hola, muy bien. ¿Y tú?
Yo excelente. Oh, you hablas español.
Ay, gracias.
Do you know that I'm a huge fan, honestly. I've been
Awesome.
fan since the Sopranos. And then I saw you again in Son of Anarchy. Like all this show. And I think this is the first time that I see you doing these kind of characters in one way. Like being the bad guy, the bad woman in like and it suits you. I don't know why, but it suits you. What
Does it? I haven't seen it yet. I'm scared to see it. I'm not used to being, I don't know how to be mean. I mean, I know how to be mean and yell at my kids, but like I don't know how to be really, really mean like that. So,
but like how do you choose this role? Because you've been in a couple movies that I believe that they're super underrated, like Assault in Precinct 13,
uh,
the remake. I think is better than the first one. How these roles land to you? Because you're always in these thrillers, in these action sequences that like are involved around you.
well, I think that coming from The Sopranos, first of all, I think that I just come from that super veritas, like super real. There's no like I didn't like for example, I was on Desperate Housewives and I didn't belong there. Even Mark Cherry, the creator, he kept saying, do it like this, do it like that. And I was like, well, I don't fucking know how to do it like that. I only know how to do it like this. And I can't pretend, I can't fake shit. So I feel like these roles find me because they know that I'm going to be real. My face is going to look real. I'm not going to come with my face all, Botoxed out like I'm going to bring you the real deal. I'm going to come, I'm going to be dirty, gritty. And I think that's more what I have to offer than any technique or sort of acting talent.
But
Does that
also
make
in,
sense?
in Son of Anarchy, it's kind of the same role. Like you are in this underground group who like kind of like villains, but they think they're doing the right thing. Do you think there's a fine line between these kind of characters is almost the one that you portray in one way, and being a good person that wanna do good things like you did in Assault the Precinct 13? Do you think there's a fine line between the good and the evil on this character that you portray?
Well, I think that most people are not born evil. I mean, I think maybe some are. Who the hell knows? But I think everybody has a journey to becoming a bad guy. So when you're an actor, I mean, you definitely have to fill in the space where you don't know where your character came from. So for me, in order for Vic in this movie to be that ruthless, she must have experienced that herself in her lifetime, where she was held in a chair, at death's point to a certain degree, whether literally or figuratively. So yeah, I do think that, whether it's a fine line or not, I think everybody has their journey and there's a lot of vulnerability in that journey. And it's how that vulnerability either gets covered or protected. And I think in this film, she's been protecting herself from when she was a young girl. And now she's a badass bitch. I mean, she's a survivor. I don't think she just showed up on the scene being this boss and being this ruthless.
Do you
She
think
doesn't trust anybody, that's for sure.
because in the past 10 years we have seen even major movies with female strong lead characters in actions in thriller? Do you think that the industry is turning like face to females to be in roles in like yours? Because usually we always see guys portraying these characters, and then a female is like this, the wife, the secondary. But I think the industry is changing. Do you feel that the industry is changing with characters that you portrayed and you have portrayed before?
Yes, I do. I think the industry is changing a lot. I mean, I think the industry doesn't have a choice but to change because of cancel culture. It's like everybody, all of a sudden, I don't even believe half the shit I watch on TV. When I watch these commercials, I'm like, oh, okay, I see. Now everybody's like, how come this wasn't happening before? It just feels very heavy handed. I don't like when stuff is gratuitous just for the sake of a virtue signal. I feel like it should feel real and it should be genuine. I've never been a psycho feminist because I don't feel like I need to scream. I feel like I sit in my power and I know who I am. I feel like society has come a long way. I do think that there's definitely some unfair shit when it comes to paychecks between men and women, for sure, 100%. And there just aren't that many roles for aging women. I think for younger women, there are plenty of roles, but it has something to do with getting older too, that you're in a tough spot. Yeah. And the industry just keeps changing as far as TV and film. Like a lot of film stars now want to be on TV shows. So they're kind of reconfiguring the way the whole thing works. But I think that the character of Vic might have already been a man. And I think the last project I did was a character called Rocco. And I think that might have been a man too. It's funny that they both had male names.
Exactly.
They called on me to play those parts. And I remember sitting here being like, this is cool. Like, I've never played a tough guy. So why are they coming to me to play a tough guy? I'm like, it must be my crazy eyebrows. But it is harder for women to a large degree. You know, everybody's had their fight in this.
But also another subject is related with mostly on my audience is about representation. The industry also is being forced to go that way, that we need to tell stories about Latinos, about Black people, about Asian. Do you you are in the industry, do you think also that we're turning to that way to tell different stories to include more people and the audience feel represented in the screen?
Oh, I mean, I feel like everybody should always be represented. And I feel that a lot of, especially indie films, I can't really speak to the Hollywood model because I've never been a part of it. All the shows that I've been on have been pretty diverse, except for maybe like, I don't know, maybe Desperate Housewives or, I don't know. But I have no idea what the Hollywood journey is, but I know that as far as any of the shows I've been on, that stuff has always been a part of life. But with the indie films, there's so many beautiful films about any subculture. Like, I'd rather watch a subculture. I'm not necessarily thinking about ethnicities as more as I'm thinking about, like for example, like I played a Spanish girl. I played a Puerto Rican girl in an Abel Ferrara film years ago. Yeah. And I thought to myself back then, like, I don't want to do it. I showed up on set. I was supposed to play a different part. And Abel's like, Abel Ferrara was crazy. He's like, I got to get this film done. You got to just do it. I was like, I am not Puerto Rican. There's so many Puerto Rican actors who you want to use me for it. But I was raised by a Spanish woman. So I was able to, to bring it and he's like, you're an actor. You could do anything. I was like, yeah, but I don't think I should do that. I should play an Italian girl, sure. But a lot of other girls can come in and play an Italian girl also. So it gets all crazy and stuff. I think that people have to tell good stories, man. And whatever those stories are about, then they should be about that. I don't, that's sort of how I see it. Like, I just want to see a good story about people's relationships and the human condition. I'm not necessarily concerned about who the players are, as long as there's some sort of heart to it.
Also being in great movies and great shows, is there any difference for you as an actress to prepare a role for a TV and a role for a feature film? Because you're being in love on shows like The Sopranos, it's like 10 years and your character was there the majority of the time. Then you were in some anarchy and then you got into the middle. But it also, you have to prepare different roles because you are the same person. And then we see you in a movie, in an action movie, like, I saw Precinct 13 that I love. And there's another character, it's another person. How is that preparation?
I love that you bring that one up.
I love that movie. I really love that movie. And I think it's underrated. Like, people don't talk about this fantastic film.
Cast. That's what I'm saying. Like, even back then, the cast was super diverse and amazing. I mean, that was like the perfect blend of, all those
and you have a really good story, and it's based on a supposedly classic. But I think that the remake, it's way better. It's way more fun, well made, and it's a small film, but it feels like a huge budget because it's so thrill and so fun. And you guys did great. And I don't know why this movie wasn't that bigger than
Do you know what's funny? The director was a psycho Abel Ferrara fan. That was why he hired me, because I had worked with Abel.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you know who Abel Ferrara is, but he's always was my favorite filmmaker when I was a kid. And then I got to work with him. And after that, I was like, nah, I don't ever have to work again, because I loved him. Some people would think I'm crazy, especially people in my industry, because Abel was crazy back in those days. But that director was a French director, and he loved Abel. So he wanted that film to feel like an Abel Ferrara film. And that cast was insane. I mean, Lawrence Fishburne, he's my king. I mean, I remember when I met him and I was like, you really are royalty. You're a king. He acts like a king, you know? He's just a beautiful, I love him. Anyway, I'll stop.
How do you prepare those roles?
Okay, so it's easier for me to prepare for television. Why? Because I know I'm going to live there for 6 months. I know that I have 6 months to develop the history of my character. And depending on what the writers write each week, I can go back and create a new backstory for myself. And this becomes this really big, rich character. An indie film is in and out. You're there for a minute and out. So if you don't do the thing you wanted to do, if you like, sometimes when you shoot the last scene at the end and you recognize like, holy shit, I didn't bring this to my journey. And I wish I could have gone back and shot something. You can't do that in a film because it's on film, it's finished, it's in the can, and it's what's going to end up on screen. But with TV, you have episodes to change how your character reacts and behaves towards certain things. I feel like that with theater too. You can recover moment to moment if you mess up on stage. You always have a recover period, but in film, you really don't. I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes sense. Because when you are on TV, my idea, you have a character that it can last for 5 years.
Yeah.
So this constancy is really important because people are watching you. But in a film, you can shoot for 2-3 months and then you just let go the characters unless there's a sequel. But when like the characters in The Sopranos, it's like everybody knows who are you. Like, Michael Imperioli's girlfriend, like she is annoying. And and then we see you a badass in Son of Anarchy, and then like, but this is the special part, and then you are in Desperate Housewives doing a way different character, and but you have to be this person for months, and then you have to go to film a movie probably, and then you have to come back to this character on TV. That's why I believe it has to be something special in creating something for TV, and that's why probably many people in Hollywood are going back to do some shows, like superstars from Hollywood. They go to TV because probably they're better stories right now.
Yeah, they're better stories. They're the big budget films. Nobody's going to the movies these days too, which is difficult. So the TV shows are such big budgeted shows, and they're so beautifully written. Some of them. I mean, I think we're a little oversaturated right now. But for the most part, you really can find some great material on TV land these days.
You've been in the industry for a while, and what is your take with this new system of streamings? Do you think it's killing the whole magic of going to the movies, or you think it has to happen? Like it's something that we didn't see coming until the pandemic hits, but it was something that had to happen, or you think that we should go back and watch everything in the theaters?
I prefer the old American pastime of theater going. You're asking so many like Hollywood political questions today. I don't know how to answer them because I'm not political, I'm not Hollywood, I'm not part of any of this stuff. You know what I mean? I do think that streaming, I think everything's getting redefined. I was saying this about the music industry too, when all of these when you started streaming music, like the rock star is dead. They can't even make money buying, selling music anymore because everybody's taking their money. They get nothing at the end of the day. So with the whole streaming thing, I feel like the excitement of going to a movie theater and seeing a big film has been diminished. I think people don't want to leave their homes. I think that we've been scared to death by society now with all of this, just so much weird shit going on in the world that people just feel safer at home, which is not great. I feel like community is king and community is beautiful, and being in a movie theater is is a magical thing. But man, people are afraid to get shot at a movie theater at this point. So yeah, I feel like if there were a balance because of it, that's great. Like a balance because people are wanting both, but it also feels very, it's not as exciting. It's not as exciting. To me, it's not as exciting.
I agree. I agree. To me, going to the movies is magical. Like
Yeah, it's,
popcorn, the
I'm old school,
smell,
but we're
eating.
older.
Yeah, exactly. Just sitting and even see the reaction of other people just stimulate yourself. And I think when you're home, you can pause the movie and you can do something else. It just kills some of the vibe or the line. I don't know. The
It's
narrative.
happening with live music too. Like my boyfriend just played Bonnaroo, and they said that there were only 30,000 kids there this year, and it's usually 100,000. I mean, where are these people? Like, what's going on? You gotta live, man. You
I
gotta
agree.
live.
I agree. Rhea, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan
Thank you.
since forever. And of course, you're invited to the art whenever you want. And I'm
Good to see
serious.
you.
I'm a director artistic of the festival in January. So if you don't have anything to do in the last week in January, we cover everything and we bring you to enjoy the Dominican Republic.
No, beautiful. Thank you.
Have a,
Thanks for having me.
have a beautiful evening and thank you
You
for your
too.
time. Bye bye.
Adios,
Adios.
senor.